If the Strait of Hormuz shuts down, some countries don't just struggle, they stop. Not slow down, not take a hit. They stop because entire economies, energy systems, even daily life depend on a single route staying open. It's called the Strait of Hormuz, and right now it is no longer truly safe. Not officially closed. Ships are still passing through. Oil is still flowing, but the system is no longer stable. Insurance costs are rising. Tensions are escalating, and one of the most critical arteries of global trade is operating under constant threat. Nearly 20% of the world's oil and a massive share of global liquefied natural gas pass through this route every single day. Which means one thing: if Hormuz stops, even temporarily, the effects won't stay regional. They will spread across the entire global economy. So the real question isn't whether it matters. The real question is, who collapses first? Please take a moment to subscribe and like the video. It really helps the channel. At first glance, the Strait of Hormuz might not look extraordinary. On a map, it appears like just another waterway. But when you zoom in, the reality becomes far more fragile. Ships are not free to move across the entire width of the strait. They are confined to a controlled traffic system. 2 narrow shipping lanes, each just 2 miles wide, roughly the width of a small city. For vessels longer than 3 football fields, carrying millions of barrels of oil, that leaves almost no room for error. Through these lanes, around 20 million barrels of oil move every single day. There is no alternate sea route nearby, no parallel channel, no backup system. This is not just a busy shipping lane. It is a bottleneck that the entire modern world depends on. The strategic importance of this narrow passage is not new. For more than 5,000 years, these waters have connected major civilizations. Ancient traders used this route to link Mesopotamia with the Indus Valley, moving goods like spices, textiles, and metals across vast distances. Later, empires fought to control it. In the 1500s, the Portuguese captured Hormuz and used it to dominate trade between East and West. Centuries later, during the Iran-Iraq War of the 1980s, the strait became the center of what became known as the Tanker War. Hundreds of ships were attacked, insurance costs surged, global trade was thrown into uncertainty. And yet, despite all of this, the strait has almost never been completely closed. Because every major power understands one thing: shutting Hormuz doesn't hurt one country. It hurts everyone. But while the consequences are global, the impact is not equal. Some countries don't just suffer, they collapse. Start with Qatar, the world's largest exporter of liquefied natural gas. More than 90% of its exports pass through Hormuz. There is no backup route. If the strait closes, Qatar has roughly 30 days before storage fills, and production must shut down. Revenue disappears almost instantly. Now Iraq. Nearly 100% of its oil exports move through this route. Oil makes up around 90% of government revenue. If Hormuz is blocked, that revenue vanishes overnight. From that moment, the decline begins. Within 60 days, the government struggles to pay salaries, import food, and maintain basic services. This isn't a slowdown. It's a state failure scenario. Kuwait faces the same reality. Almost all exports pass through the strait. No bypass, no redundancy, no margin for error. A prolonged disruption means total economic paralysis. Bahrain and Iran follow. Different scale, same dependency. Even Iran's limited pipeline capacity cannot replace the majority of its exports. For these countries, Hormuz is not important. It is essential. At this point, it sounds like there must be backup systems, and technically there are. Saudi Arabia can reroute some oil through pipelines to the Red Sea. The UAE can bypass part of the strait through Fujairah. Together, these routes can handle roughly 5 to 6 million barrels per day. But here's the reality. Around 20 million barrels normally pass through Hormuz. That leaves more than 15 million barrels per day with no viable alternative. Even at full capacity, these pipelines cannot replace the strait. The majority of global energy flow still depends on this single choke point. After exporters, the next wave hits importers, and most of them are in Asia. Nearly 85% of Hormuz oil flows east. Japan is one of the most vulnerable. It imports the majority of its energy, much of it through this route. Its reserves can cover only a limited period. After that, shortages begin. Industry slows. The economy contracts. South Korea faces a similar risk, a manufacturing powerhouse dependent on uninterrupted energy. Disruption means factories slow, exports fall, pressure builds quickly. India faces a dual crisis. Energy imports decline, and fertilizer supply is disrupted. Without ammonia and urea from the Gulf, agricultural output drops, food prices rise, and the impact spreads beyond energy markets. Then there is China, the world's largest manufacturing economy. Around 38% of Hormuz oil flows to China. Yes, it has reserves, roughly 100 to 120 days. But those reserves are not designed to sustain growth. They are designed to buy time. If supply drops, factories don't wait months. They begin slowing within weeks. Supply chains tighten, production declines, and global shortages begin long before reserves run out. While oil dominates headlines, another crisis builds quietly. Food. The Persian Gulf is a major supplier of natural gas used to produce fertilizers. Nearly half of global urea trade passes through Hormuz. If that flow is disrupted, farmers receive less fertilizer, crop yields decline, food supply tightens, prices rise. And in vulnerable regions, the consequences escalate rapidly. This is not just an energy crisis, it is a global system shock. So why can't the strait simply be secured? Because modern conflict doesn't require control. It requires uncertainty. Iran has spent decades preparing for this. Naval mines, anti-ship missiles, fast attack boats, drone systems designed for confined waters. But the real weapon is not destruction, it's risk. A single mine, one damaged tanker, and insurance costs surge overnight. Ship owners reroute, traffic slows, flow collapses. The strait doesn't need to be blocked. It only needs to feel unsafe. There is no quick solution, no instant bypass, no easy alternative. Replacing the Strait of Hormuz would take decades and trillions of dollars. Until then, the world remains dependent on this narrow strip of water. And the countries that rely on it most are beginning to face a hard truth. Their survival is not controlled by their own borders. It is tied to the stability of a choke point thousands of miles away. A narrow passage that has shaped global trade for thousands of years and still holds the modern world in a fragile balance.